All right, welcome in Wager Talk today on this Thursday. Once again, another loaded slate for you here as we're going to talk a little NFL Thursday night football coming up. Chargers and Broncos battle for AFC West supremacy there. We also have a little college football playoff game that we're going to talk about here involving the Ohio State University taking on Tennessee. That's an interesting game. We got some Golden State Warriors taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. The NBA is back tonight, loaded slate there. We'll have a slew of props in the association tonight because, well, you know who, Andy Lang will be back in the saddle again, delivering the props for you here. Loaded slate of props tonight in the association. He will deliver the customary NHL and straight off a big win in darts yesterday, that free play he was dishing out. Hope you guys were able to catch that yesterday. If not, he's got another one for you. So this should be very interesting here today. And, of course, if Dave Sharapan actually gets up and blesses us with his presence, great. We'll talk to him. If not, nobody really cares and is going to lose any sleep. But we will have Gianni the Greek show up, and he'll be here with his Steam report as usual to close out the show. But I can't think of a better way to start it off than with our man, the one, the only, the legendary, Mr. Ross Benjamin in the house, ready to kick it off here on this Thursday on Wager Talk Today. And Ross, gotta love me. Which way are we dancing? I don't even know how we do this.
Yeah, we're moving along here.
Are you
trying
leading?
to middle myself.
I'm not sure if you're leading, if I should lead, or what's happening there.
Ross, I need some background music. That's all.
The problem is, Ross, Dan, it's been a long night. He was out playing darts late. Next thing you know, you're lucky your microphone works. That's all I'm going to say.
It's true.
I'm
actually checking if it's on.
Yeah, I was going to say, make sure you're actually on. That would be great. Is this thing? Can you hear us? All right, good stuff. Ross, kick us off here on Thursday Night Football, if you would. Chargers, Broncos. Winner, actually, I believe, qualifies for the playoffs, so they'll lock themselves in. Pretty big matchup there. But neither of these teams have been all that impressive offensively as of late. Short week. What do we get in this game here tonight?
Well, thank you for having me once again, guys. I appreciate it. This game here, divisional matchup, a lot on the line when it comes to playoff implications. And I see this one playing out as a very low-scoring, close game. I mean, you look at the splits offensively and defensively for these teams. Neither team is explosive offensively. Both is very good defensively. And these teams, they know each other very well. One team in the Chargers, anemic running game, which is going to make them a little easier to defend against a team like Denver, who possesses a real good defense. And you look at Denver, their running game has been lacking as well, 84.8 yards per game on the ground. And usually when that happens, if a team can't run the ball and they become one-dimensional against good defense, more likely it's going to be a low-scoring game. The total in this game, 42, low by NFL standards, and I think it's justified. So I'm going to go under the total here. I'm going to go Denver and the Chargers under the total of 42.
I agree with you 100% here. Ross, what is with these two teams, though? The ceiling, obviously, make the playoffs great. If the Chargers, I think they win, they get a couple of Miami losing or the Colts, or if they get some help, they're in. If the Broncos win, they are absolutely in. But all right, they're in here. The AFC wildcard race is a bit head-scratching here because I don't know. I think there's a huge gap between the Chargers, the Broncos, and the top-end teams in the AFC. Am I wrong here, or are we looking like one-and-dones? Is that the ceiling here for these two teams?
Yeah, you're spot on, Joe, as always. And I think the ceiling for these neither one, in my estimation anyway, is capable of a deep playoff run. I think either team would be quite happy not only making the postseason, but maybe being able to pull off one win in the postseason. But if they can even do that, but that's about as far a ceiling as they have for either team.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't see that happening. Like in the under here tonight, though, with the Chargers and the Broncos, we do have a interesting college football game to talk about here that you want to break down for us, involving the Ohio State University taking on Tennessee. I know a lot of guys. It's interesting here. They're betting this game like they already know what the score is going to be, Ross, which is always a little worrisome here. To me, there feels like all the pressure is on one team here, and it ain't Tennessee. So the question is, does Ryan Day and Chip Kelly show up with the same damn game plan that they got their ass handed to them by Michigan, or do they actually get their heads out of their ass and steamroll this Tennessee team? What do you think we're going to get?
Yeah, I have a premium side on this game, so I'm going to be a little bit reserved in terms of comment, Joe, respectfully, when it comes to the side. But I do like the total that I'm going to give you here. Look, Ohio State this year, 6 games, they've had a total of 51 or less this season. All 6 have gone under the total, 37.5 points per game scored. And basically, if it's 51 or less with Ohio State, more times than not, they're either playing an anemic offense or they're playing a team with a really good defense. And that's the case with Tennessee in this situation. Ryan Day also 5-0 to the under whenever the total is 42.5 to 49 at home. And it falls within right in the middle of that totals parameter. And that's since he's been at Ohio State. So both of these defenses are excellent. Ohio State allowing 10.9 points per game, 243 yards per contest. Tennessee, not as good, but still really, really good. I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but Tennessee, a little less than 14 points per game allowed, 278 yards per contest. Ohio State's offense has left a lot to be desired over the last 3 games, Joe. 26.3 points, around 329 yards per game. Tennessee, who got off to such a great start offensively on the season, have sort of tailed a little bit down the stretch. And that's especially been the case when they're playing very good teams. I have a stat here somewhere. Yeah, 22.3 points per game in their last 4 games versus actually in all 4 games in which they faced a team that currently has a greater than 500 win percentage. So I like this game to play out as a low-scoring game, Joe. Cold weather, it's 2 good defenses, and 2 teams that their better offensive play seems to have happened in the first half of the season as compared to the second half.
I'm absolutely with you. And if you take away the non-conference games from Tennessee, offensively, they weren't great against the better competition in the SEC. They're here because of their defense. I can make the argument there, Ross, that Tennessee, I think they're a bit of an underrated defense here. I think Ohio State is just totally confusing sometimes as far as what the game plan is going to be and what you're going to get offensively from Will Howard. So we know Ohio State's got one of the better defenses. It's kind of hard to figure this thing to be a wild shootout. Plus the weather, from what I understand in Columbus, ain't going to be all that great either there, Ross. Everything, it feels like, leads to an under here.
Yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if you have a high-scoring game here. I mean, based on, again, Joe, you hit it on the head. Both teams' offenses, when you look at the final stretch of the season, when they stepped up in class or played winning teams, their offensive numbers have gone down drastically compared to their season averages. So, and then, like, we both said, both of these defenses are top-notch.
Yeah, they really are. And you got to give them credit, too, because neither defense gives up that big explosive play. There won't be any 90-yard touchdown runs or passes in this game here. And we'll see if any of the turnover situation comes into play. But I'm with you, Ross. I love the under in this spot. I think that is a great look. Big shout out, Peasy in the house, in the chat room, by the way. Tennessee is a public dog. It's Ohio State going to get a lot of public money before it's all said and done as well. We are also seeing Ohio State laying it at 7-5 in laying the actual 7.5. Some people thinking Ohio State total blowout here. Shout out to Knockout, by the way, in the YouTube Shorts chat, who says this is a battle of the two most overrated college football programs in the history of the game. Very well put there, and I can't say you're lying in either of those situations there. All right, Ross, you said you got a bet on the side in this game. Of course, folks can visit you over at WagerTalk.com. But we do have a full NBA slate back on tap here tonight. And this whole NBA Cup thing's a little scratching. It feels like we're in an all-star break. Like everyone just disappeared. Some teams haven't played one game in like a week and a half. Like I don't know what the hell the NBA is doing here. However, we do have a full slate tonight. You're looking at Golden State and the Memphis Grizzlies on the card here tonight. Tell me what we should be doing in this game.
Well, this is a high total for good reason. Golden State coming off a 143-133 loss to Dallas in their previous game, easily going over the total of 228.5. But you might be surprised to know they haven't gone over the total in back-to-back games since November 5th, which is a little over a month ago. They're 3-0 to the under in their last three when coming off an over. I like to look at algorithms like that, Joe, when it comes to the NBA. They're also 10-3 to the under in their last 13 overall, and that includes 3-0 to the under whenever the total's been 230 or greater. Golden State has scored less than 100 points in 3 of their last 5 contests. They've gone under the total in their last 5 as an underdog, and those 5 games only averaged a combined 202 points per game. Although Memphis has allowed 115 points per game in their last 5, opponents have only shot 43% from the field and 29% from the three-point line. It's more indicative of the pace that Memphis plays at, which allows teams to get more field goal attempts and score more points despite the poor shooting numbers. Golden State, on the other hand, their last 5 defensively, 108 points per game. And here's a big thing that I think people overlook when handicapping the NBA, especially when it comes to NBA totals. The Warriors have only allowed 17 free throw attempts per game over their last 5. And by NBA standards, guys, that's extremely low. One meeting this year, Golden State won 123-118. The game went over 237.5. There was 138 points scored in the second half in that game. And, you know, I just don't see that kind of thing happening again, but you never know. And they combined for 201 field goal attempts in that game, which is incredible. That's a torrid pace. Again, I don't see – those are rare numbers, both that I just mentioned, Joe. I just don't see that occurring again. In Golden State in the second half this year, they're scoring 115 point. Excuse me. What am I doing here? Memphis this year 118.1. So both teams are second half scoring teams. The first half is usually low scoring for them. But again, I'm just going to make a long story short here. Because I'm getting a little bit carried away and long-winded. I'm going to take Golden State, Memphis under the total, I believe, in the high 230s, Joe?
Yep. 236.5, I think, is what we're seeing here now. And we're expecting even more than that. A couple of notes also in this game, as I believe Dennis Schroeder is expected to make his Warriors debut tonight against Memphis. And Memphis brings back Zach Edey. And that's going to be a pretty big advantage on the size, because they're very undersized, Golden State. And Zach Edey, I think, could have himself a pretty big game. We'll see if Andy Lang has got any props on that game. But you, Ross, have got a look at the over in here. It is a loaded NBA slate. So tell the folks what you got locked, loaded, ready to roll here tonight on your page at WagerTalk.
I got 2 NBA plays, an underdog shocker, and I also have an NBA money line winner. And my NBA money line picks, guys, 50-19 since I joined the WagerTalk network, and I don't give out big money line favorites. I mean, my return on investment is 34.9%. By the way, that's 73% win rate, 50-19 since I joined WagerTalk. So I got an NBA money line pick. And my NBA sides, They're up over $10,000 since late 2023. So good stuff at Wager Talk. Don't forget the college football bowl season, people. 2-0 to start the bowl season. 28-15 since 2022 in the bowl action in playoffs and national championship games combined. That's good for 65%. College football, number one money earner, over $10,000 in profit since November 26th of 2022. So I can go on and on, but you can go to my site, wt.buzz/RB. You can see all my updated hot streaks right there. Take advantage of some of these special offers we got going on, especially $149 for my college football bowl package. What are you waiting for? Come on.
Yep.
So anyway.
I got one even better, Ross. Get all of January, because that'll take you right through to college, the national championship, plus the NFL playoffs will be kicking off. Get your whole month of January, and they'll throw in the rest of December, which will include all the playoff games. So there's absolutely no reason. Oh, hey, you're goddamn right. Ho, ho, ho. I thought you saw somebody behind me. I was like, wait a minute. I wasn't sure where we were going there, Ross, but I'm with you here.
Yeah,
ho, ho, ho is right. Yeah, I was saying, so I'm looking under the desk. I don't know where we're going. So what we're going to do here for $2.99 is get all of January and the rest of December for that price. And you can go visit Ross's page over at WagerTalk.com. Ross, always a pleasure, brother. We'll see you again this week, of course, on more videos. We appreciate the time. Dan, is anybody here hitting the like button or the subscribe button while they're hanging out with us here on this Thursday? Are you noticing anything, Dan?
Up those numbers. No. Up those numbers. Yes. They're being a little lazy here today, Joe. Yeah. After all these winners we've been giving them this week, they're being a little lazy, man.
Dudes are getting dart winners, and they're not even hitting the like button here. Big shout out, by the way.
Easy
exactly. Seth throwing a compliment to you in the chat room, saying that you were off to a good start, Dano. We can actually hear the first guess, which is always a step in the right direction. It's time for us to ask the viewers what the over-under here. What is the odds that Sharapan actually shows up here today? He was, what was he at the mechanic last week or something along getting hair plugs? What was it last week that he couldn't show up for? I don't remember what it was.
It was interesting because he said that he was at the shop, and then like 3 days later, he posted a picture on Twitter of a nail in his tire. So I don't know if he was at the shop double time. He used it twice. I'm not positive.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, guys. Somebody, please go ahead and drop the odds of whether Sharapan actually shows up here in the next 7 to 8 minutes. In the meantime, we have plenty of props to talk about here tonight, and who better? Yes. Thank you. Outstanding stuff, Anglin. Appreciate you guys in there. We do have props and a ton of them, Andy, coming off another very profitable day yesterday here on Wager Talk Today. Looking to back that up, let's start in the Thursday night football arena tonight with an NFL prop for this game between the Broncos and the Chargers. How are you looking at this game from a prop betting perspective?
It's Justin Herbert under half an interception, just rinse and repeat. I come on the show every week and I just tell you to play Justin Herbert to not throw an interception. He had one last week. I don't care. I'm going back to it. Joe, he has 2 interceptions this year. He has 5 interceptions in the last 21 games. If I were to tell you a prop is 21-5 out of the last 26 games and you're getting a good price on it, you should be running to the window. That's all I need in this game tonight. This game's a little bit tough to handicap from a props betting perspective, but a lot of times you only need one prop to turn a profit. So we'll just go back to the oldie but goodie, Justin Herbert not throwing an interception tonight.
Love that. By the way, James in the chat room goes, the Prez really thought it was a good idea to go toe-to-toe with the Grizzly. Yes, he did. And that was probably a decision he will regret. The good news is apparently he's out of the hospital and will be back tomorrow. We'll wait and see there. Andy, NBA action here tonight. Loaded slate across the board. And you've got, I believe, 4 NBA props that you're looking at. So take us through them, man. What are you looking at on the association here tonight?
Yeah, these are some leans to keep your eye on. We'll start with Mikal Bridges over 15.5 points. He's on a nice roll, gone over in 7 straight games. I mean, you got to love a guy that's playing 38.4 minutes. He's shooting 14.6 field goal attempts per game. He doesn't shoot a lot of free throws. I don't like that. And the big caution, he's only gone over in 6 out of 14 road games. So I'm bringing this up because Bridges at home over this point total is great. But tread a little bit lightly on road games, but I just can't ignore 7 straight games and 38 minutes played. Here's a sneaky one. Mark Williams, over half an assist. This is not available on all the sports books. Search around and find it. The books are not taking into account his minutes increase. So Mark Williams has only played a few games this year. He's coming back from a hip and back injury. First game, he only played 8 minutes. He had no assists, but the last 2 games, his minutes are up. He's played 17 minutes in those games. He's had 2 and 3 assists, and he plays the god-awful Charlotte team who gives up 3.5 assists per game. So I would absolutely play Mark Williams over an assist if you can find that one. Julius Randle, under 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's not filling the stat sheet up a ton. Under in 7 straight games, and the Knicks are second in points allowed to power forwards, 9th in rebounds, 6th in assists. And I got to believe they do not want to watch Julius Randle have a big game against them. I would say they're probably going to do what they can to lock that guy down. And then this is a good one. It's a little bit juicy, but Desmond Bane, under 2.5 made threes. He's gone under in 16 out of 19 games, 10 in a row. 10 for 10 this play is hit. He's playing Golden State. They give up the least amount of made threes to shooting guards in the league. So those are a couple looks here in the NBA tonight.
I love it. I mean, it is a loaded slate, very weird schedule, but loaded slate here across the board here. I certainly like the Zach Edey look against Golden State too as well. Andy, you crushed it last night. And by the way, the comment section is just, you guys are on fire today. The chat rooms never lose. Make sure you hit that thumbs up there. The Prez has been off social media almost as long as the Hawk Tua chick. Very impressive, Seth. Good stuff there. Very nice.
That's great. That's
we got to start giving an award out at the end of this show. Exactly. Yeah. We got to, as the comment of the show, because you guys have been absolutely on fire. Daryl Mack wants to know if the Prez tried to Khabib the bear. I don't think he Khabibed anything. I think he got Khabibed more than anything else there. But he does have a 5% bet in the NHL tonight. Apparently he was well enough to actually pick a play. So NHL at the Prez's page. Speaking of NHL, Andy, you got another if it ain't broke, don't fix it prop in the NHL here tonight. So what are we looking at?
Charlie McAvoy over 1.5 shots on goal. He's gone over in 9 straight games. When you're looking at Edmonton, they're 3rd for the season in shots on goal, but that's for the season. Last 3 games been a little leaky. 28, 32, and 40 shots on goal allowed. Also, for whatever reason, McAvoy loves shooting the puck against Edmonton. He's gone over in 5 out of the last 6 games. My only concern with this one was I was wondering why we're getting such a good price. I was like, why is this play that's hit 9 straight games only minus 120? So I looked it up. He's had a couple games where he's only shot the puck 2 times, and both of them have been on goal. He hasn't missed the net. That's why we're getting such a good price. So if you're going to play this one, just lower your expectations a little bit, because there's been a couple games in this 9-game stretch where he's been a little bit lucky. So, but yeah, McAvoy, it's a big night, NHL. We've got an NHL 2-pack that is up, but McAvoy is one you guys should be looking at.
I love it. Ain't broke. We ain't fixing it here. And of course, in addition to the NHL, Andy, and you continuing to dominate right here on the show yesterday. And by the way, if you're new to us here at WagerTalk Today, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, because Andy's on here, 5 days a week, Andy? Dropping prop knowledge, 4 days a week, dropping props and winning props at that for you guys. By the way, Dan, how are we doing so far on the Dave Sharapan hair plugs? Any sort of any whiff?
No, I don't smell anything as of right now, but I will keep you posted.
Just saying those. And by the way, shout out to Westtalk 09. 50-1, he doesn't show up. Would have been a fantastic bet right there. But apparently, Caden in the YouTube Shorts had Sharapan showing up at plus 110. So we have differing sets of opinions on the ability of Dave Sharapan to actually log in and show up when he was supposed to. But Andy, so far, no word from Dave Sharapan or his hair plugs. So we're going to move on to darts. And I'm telling you right now, man, if we've been screaming and yelling for how long now, Andy, when it comes to darts, you have your finger on the pulse of this sport, and you gave one out yesterday. Cha-ching. Do you have another one here today that we should be looking at?
Yeah, clients cashed a 4%er yesterday, and we got a 3%er that is up today, and the play today is going to come with a couple more plays. I had an interesting comment sent to me on Twitter here, Joe. It said, "You bet on darts? What a degenerate."
Oh,
no, degenerates lose. We win. We're 10-2 this week on darts. If you want to be a degenerate, you can bet on all the big public plays. We pride ourselves on bringing in money on the lesser known bets, the ones that the public is not on, and the one that the sports books are not all over. That's why we're number one the last 2 years with plus 202 units. And we do it with plays like this. So we'll take a sprinkle on Nick Kenny money line against Bunce here. Bunce is 46 years old. He doesn't play great competition. And Nick Kenny's kind of one of these guys that's kind of stepping up his game recently. He averages more than Bunce. He has more than double the amount of 180s than Bunce has in the last 12 months. And Kenny is playing against the world's best. He's playing against guys like Michael Smith and Daryl Gurney and some of these other guys. Bunce was literally playing in the Gibraltar qualifier. That's how he got here. So we get a pretty good price here at minus 145 on a guy. This play goes off in a couple of hours. And yeah, yesterday we told you to take the guy to have over 1.5 180s, and he had 5. These lines are soft, man. The books are paying attention to Thursday night football. They are not paying attention to darts. If you want to play this, just go to DraftKings, click on PDC World Championships, and the play is right there. So let's take Nick Kenny to beat Bunce this afternoon.
So you're a degenerate because you cash tickets betting on darts.
Joe, we get that comment all the time, and it's music to my ears. Like, thank you for saying that, because it just solidifies our theory on how we bet sport. If you think we're betting on things because I promise you, degenerates are not betting on darts. Professionals are. We are.
Yes.
Our clients are, and we're 10-2 this week.
Yeah. Just to give some perspective here, Andy, to that wonderful commenter there on your Twitter page, or X, or whatever you want to call it these days. I'll show you degenerate, my friend. How would you like to be the woman suing DraftKings right now for $947,000, which her husband apparently lost, betting 40 games a day at $435 a pop? She wants the money back. Now, if you want to talk degeneracy, that might be a problem there. And I love that, Andy. I hope she wins, because I got a few bets at DraftKings I'd like to get back as well. But there's levels to this, is there not?
Yeah, we don't send out that many plays to clients. I'll just say that.
Yeah. So. What are you betting on 40 times a day? Like, how many? I can't. Absolutely unbelievable. Yes.
I don't think we have that in the last 2 weeks. I really don't. I don't think we have
40 games a day.
That's amazing.
And you ain't winning either to lose $1 million in a short time frame. But the idea that the wife thinks she can sue DraftKings to recoup that money is absolutely priceless here, Andy. 10-2 at the World Championships in darts. You mentioned earlier you are locked, loaded, ready to roll. in the NFL, of course, but NBA here tonight. What else you got going on your page at WagerTalk.com?
It's our big darts play today. We've had this one circled for a couple days. That play goes off this afternoon. Go grab that. You're going to get a couple more darts plays added on. Like we said, we're 10-2, and we've got a 2-pack in the NHL. We're on a 10-4 run in NHL. We lost Zellweger. We talked about Zellweger yesterday, Joe, and I just want to. Somebody brought it up in the chat. It was like, we lost it yesterday. Go right back to him. This is just a rinse and repeat. We're going to lose one every once in a while, so we go right back to that one. Nice cash, 4%. Darts play yesterday, 4% bowl game winner. We'll have a big bowl game coming out later today that makes us 11-5 this year in college football. We've got a great read on that. But just if you want to take advantage of the long term, we keep telling people we're number one the last 2 years. We're up to 102 units this year. If you want to get January and then you get the rest of December, do that. But also there's a special going on for the rest of the next 365 days. It's discounted down quite a bit. We don't run these specials very often. Number one the last 2 years. We preach long-term investing. These are plays that we bet with our own money. We build our bankrolls. We can help you build yours. WT.buzz/AL.
No reason, guys, not to hop on board and get with Andy Lang today on his page over at WagerTalk.com. Some great opportunities to make the investment and partner with Andy. All right, Andy, always a pleasure, my man. We're just a dart throw away from seeing you again tomorrow, man. We appreciate that. By the way, Bill Sandoval brings up a great point in the chat room. He says, degeneracy, shoot. He says, we're willing to bet if Mr. Nail in a Tire Sharapan will show up. Yeah, the man has got himself a point here. We will bet on 2 cockroaches running across the floor if we get the odds we're looking at here. So I'm going to guess, Dan, those that are
we're betting.
We got the edge with Sharapan, that's for sure. Sharapan, no sign of him. Is that what I'm getting here, Dan?
Here's what his login looks like currently.
This is our
Sharapan.
He's actually never looked as good as he does in that shot right there. So then we wait no more, and we bring on the star of the show for his daily Steam report as Gianni the Greek in the house, ready to roll on this Thursday, and it's countdown time, right? 24 hours away. We got college football playoffs, Gianni. We got limited college hoops, plenty of NBA action. What are you seeing here on this Thursday?
Yeah, and coming off a nice 6-2 in college basketball. So that's where the money is right now. That and the bowl games, what you want to be focusing on, at least until the weekend gets here and the NFL steps out and takes center stage. So far, we haven't gotten much in college basketball. Very, very slow day. In fact, the very first group that hit me, they came in and took Charleston Southern. That's 306-601. Charleston Southern at +9. But hold on, because as soon as it went to 8, 2 other different groups came in plus that one and unloaded on North Florida at -8. So if hold the gun to my head and I say North Florida -8 or 9 seems to be the side in that game. And then on the regular board, just one total so far, and it's the 752 under 140 in Long Beach State and Pepperdine. As I touched on, not much really going on today. Kind of a slow day, but it's expected with all that's coming up over the next couple of days. Again, the bowl games, college football playoffs, Week 16 NFL, and sprinkle in all that college basketball, NBA, and all that other stuff. So it's going to be a busy couple of days. But so far today, it's been slow with most of the focus on the NFL game. And what I can tell you up until right now, it's good two-way action. I touched on the other day that the +3 got eaten up. No surprise, as hot as Denver has been. I think they're 7-1 their last 8 covering spreads. They've won their last 2. Chargers are coming off losing 2. There's a little recency bias there. I wasn't surprised to see the sharp bettors pick off the 3. It'll be interesting to see what the public does when they step up and fire. Because so far, looking in the back end, Joe, I see two-way action. All the accounts that have bet so far, the public accounts, it's split pretty much down the middle. Ticket count and money bet. So for a bookmaker, that's the best case scenario for them. As long as it's not a situation where they could get middled, which is not, as long as they leave it where it is, they could just keep booking this game and getting 11-10 on it. So I don't think you're going to see too much movement here. If anything, I could see it getting back to 3 if they get Chargers money, because they know that's the number that'll help them limit some risk. So if they get heavy public money on the Chargers, the home side, then they know they could just move it to 3 and alleviate any of that risk. So it's one of those games where I think they got a number they're comfortable with, and they're just going to let the bettors keep firing. And as soon as it becomes unbalanced, I think that's when they'll entice some sharps to come in and help alleviate some of that pressure. But so far, so good.
We're only seeing under money, too, it looks like, Gianni, right, in this game tonight, Thursday Night Football? We're not seeing anything towards the over.
No, and great point, because it's not just been the sharper bettors that got out ahead. The money coming in from the public today so far has been under, which is a little bit surprising, because you look at the Denver team, and what do they have? 3 straight overs. They've scored, 31 or more points in 3 of their last 4 games. And even the Chargers, again, they haven't been putting up a lot of points, but they've allowed 40 just a week ago to Tampa Bay. You know what I mean? They've allowed 30 a few weeks before that at home to Baltimore. So it looks like one of those where I'd expect the public to go over. That's the bias, especially in those primetime games, but that just isn't how this one's working out. It's the public is coming in on the under after, as you touched on, the sharper bettors came in and went under 43.5. Big difference between under 43.5 and under 41.5, which is what the recreational bettors are betting right now. And you got to remember, the lower the total, the more each half point matters. If the total was 60.5 and it moved to 60 or 59.5, that's nothing. That 1 point move means absolutely nothing. The difference between 59.5 and 60.5 means nothing. But the difference between 40 and 41 means a lot. It matters, especially in the NFL. So that's the key. The lower the total, the more each half point matters. So as this total continues to drop, it becomes more significant. So again, we're back in that situation we touched on yesterday where they make it easy for us. Right now, it's either an over or pass because you kind of missed the boat on the under. And like I always say, I don't have the ability, Joe, to bring the boat back. None of us do. The betting syndicates do. If they miss a number, they could easily manipulate the board and bring the boat back and bet it. I don't. I can't bring the market back to me. So once I miss it, I just let it go. And like I said, it kind of makes it easier for you because, again, you only have one choice to make. It's either did they move it too much and now the other team has value, or is the betting syndicates got the best of it and now it's at that number where whether you lay minus 110 on team A or team B, over or under, you really just don't have an edge.
Are you seeing anything, Gianni? I mean, what a loaded Saturday it's going to be here with college football playoffs and two. I mean, look at what we got in the NFL. When do you start seeing the NFL Saturday money come in? Have you been taking any steady throughout the week, or do you think that's going to really start to come in tomorrow and Saturday?
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. We'll start seeing some action come in Friday and then heavy Saturday. Well, you got to remember, we got concentrated games. We have 3 college football games, 2 NFL games. That's 5 concentrated games that are going to attract the bulk of the betting action. That is what all the bettors will be focused on. I mean, college basketball, NHL, NBA, that'll be getting sprinkles here and there. But the bulk is going to be on those 5 games. And that's why I think we will see the lines be affected once the public speaks. We already know what the betting syndicates have done. I mean, for the most part, they like the Ohio State team. We saw that. They lay in the 7 there. They like the Penn State side a little bit. And from what I'm hearing is Indiana seems to be a public and sharp side. I'm always cautious on those big marquee games when that happens on Friday night. They both seem to be on the same side. And here's what I heard. Waiting on Clemson. Clemson's one of the sides where they're hoping Texas money comes in, what you touched on, where the money will start coming in Friday and Saturday. Rest assured, if Texas moves up to where they're about a 13-point favorite, that will not last. That will not last. They will start buying up Clemson at about that 13. They haven't yet because, again, the public hasn't spoken yet, and Texas is expected to be bet, just like usually the favorites. But if that happens, the sharps will come in on the Clemson side, which puts the books in a tough situation because if you got minus 11 here and plus 13 here, it gets dangerous for a bookmaker. They prefer like Notre Dame and like the Ohio State game where it's just 7. One going to cash, one's not. Not a situation where they both can cash. That's the worst case scenario. And again, when you have, one guys laying -8 and then guys taking +10. You set yourself up where both can cash that bet. And as a bookmaker, you never want to be in that position.
Nope. You've got a couple of also a game. You got one tonight here, I believe, in the New Orleans Bowl there with Georgia Southern, Sam Houston State, and two games besides the playoff game tomorrow, bowl-wise, Ohio, Jacksonville State, and Tulane and Florida here, which has been a fascinating line movement since it opened up, Gianni. Are you seeing any steam in any of these games over the next 24 hours?
Ohio, and here's what's interesting. I haven't seen any take back at all, Joe. Usually when it moves that significantly, especially when it opens around 2, 2.5, gets through that key number, 3, 3.5, gets to 4, 4.5, numbers that actually matter, you'll see some resistance, especially after I've seen 5 and haven't gotten resistance. In fact, right now at Superbook, you got to lay 5 -113 to bet Ohio. So they're doing everything they can to stop it from going to 6. Because you don't have that big of a total. I mean, it's going over. At least they're getting that side of it. They're expecting points because it was over 53.5. Now you're looking at around 56.5. So that kind of benefits the books a little bit if they're expecting more points. But yeah, this has been all Ohio. And I think it's another case where if you like the dog, you're getting a better number now than you would have. If you like the favorite, I think you kind of missed out on it. And if you are going to bet it, I think you got to place a very small bet because you should have bet a bigger bet at -1, a little smaller, your biggest bet at -1, 1.5, a little smaller at 2, 2.5, even smaller at 3, tiny at 4, at 5. It's got to be just for action. So again, they make it easy on us when that's the case. You touched on Tulane and Florida. Yeah, another crazy game. It got bet up to 13, now bet back down to 10.5. Again, as a bookmaker, you do not want to be in that situation, because you could pay out a lot of tickets. And the only way you're not going to pay out everybody is if it's not even close to the spread. Like it has to be a blowout by the favorite or the dog winning pretty much outright. Otherwise, if it lands near that number, this is ugly. But that's exactly what you see in the bowl games, Joe, because you get guys that are sitting, guys that are going into for the NFL draft, coaches, changing schools. Like there's so much going on over the period between the college football season ending and, national championship game that the lines move very, very much. And you got to be really cautious. I think staying selective is the best thing to do. Like if you just see that, you missed the number, there's no reason. I know I sound like a broken record, but we keep seeing example after example after example where if you miss a number, it's just not there. I mean, we saw UNLV get it done yesterday.
Yep.
But I think there are a lot of people nervous at halftime. That late that part that scoring is like within 1 point. You're really nervous. So that was the product of good luck. No one placed a good bet that laid 3.5 on UNLV. Rest assured. Now I know people that cashed that ticket are like, Dan, what are you talking about? How is that not a good bet? It won, dude. When you could have got +1, 1.5, and you're laying 3.5. I promise you, it wasn't a great bet. They did their job and went out there and covered, but it's not a good bet. So for me, those kind of situations, I'd rather leave it alone, man. And tomorrow's game's a little bit confusing. Yeah,
well, you make 10 bets with missing the number like that, Gianni. What are you losing? 6 out of the 10?
Yeah.
You ain't making money betting that way on these games.
Sir.
So
no, sir.
Don't get the worst of the number. It doesn't help you. A couple of questions in the chat regarding Denver tonight, I believe, and teasers. Is this considered a teaser spot for Denver? Is this something we should look at? They want to know, Gianni, or not all teasers are created the same? And who the hell are you going to put them with?
Not all teasers are created the same, but Denver does fall into that tease. About 15 minutes before kickoff, we'll go to WagerTalk.com, click the live odds screen, and here's what you're going to look at. You don't even have to go. I mean, if you want to go to Pinnacle, go to Pinnacle, because, I tend to use them. But if you could look at offshore bet online and maybe bookmaker, bet online, and then just look at Circa, Sports, and Superbook. If they're at 2.5, you got to tease Denver. The problem becomes if you can't put in an open-end teaser. Like if you have to close your teaser today, I wouldn't bet it. Because between now and Sunday, that game that you're teasing may not be a Wong teaser. And again, we're able to win the way we've won because we've adjusted using the Wong teasers. Doing it the way it was meant to be, you wouldn't be up money. I don't even know if you'd be up this season. Doing it the way I'm doing it, you're up a lot of units. So that's where I wouldn't. If you can't open end, meaning where you only put one side of the bet, there's a lot of books that let you put open end parlays, open end teasers. That means I could put in the one side of my parlay, and next week, tomorrow, whenever I see the other side, I could put in the other, the B side of the parlay, the B side of the teaser. If you can't do that, I would not I would not have Denver in the teaser, because again, then you're going to look for Sunday and you're going to tie him in with someone that's 2.5 or 2 and bet it up, or someone that's 7.5, 8 and bet it down. But what happens come Sunday if that -8 is up to -9, 9.5? That's no longer the game you wanted to tease. So again, you got a good number. Don't get me wrong. But that's not why we're teasing. That's not why we're teasing. We know why we're teasing. We know what our built-in edge is, and we just stick to those parameters, and they print money year in, year out. Don't make it harder than it needs to be.
Amen to that. There is absolutely no reason to make it any harder than it has to be here. And Gianni, when do you start seeing NBA steam here? After Christmas, have you noticed any trends in the NBA? Anything here tonight on this slate now that it's all back?
Here's what I've learned with the NBA. I've been so selective with NBA. Like, I may give a couple bets a week. And here's what I found out last year. So much money was won with zero risk that true positions are very rare in the NBA. If you go back to last season, you look at the opening line and the closing line, especially on the totals, you're going to see so many games that fell in the middle. Now, remember, they got to hit 1 out of 20 to break even. They hit 2 out of 20, they're profitable. 3 out of 20, 4 out of 20, they keep making money, printing money, printing money. That's what happened last year. Once they saw how easy that was, that's what they're doing. They're manipulating the totals where they're moving so significantly on information, sometimes on a player not playing, getting out ahead of that, and then later coming back and taking the other side, Joe. It's happening over and over and over and over again. That makes it really a really hard game to play. So I've kind of been betting NBA when it seems like it's a true position, not injury related, player sitting related, any of that crazy stuff, because I know those are the games that they're just working middles on. So I would be very, very cautious, honestly, with the NBA stuff, especially if you're a volume guy. Probably I would be a lot more selective in the NBA. Real play, I'll tell you what sticks out the most. Here's what I would look at. I would look at the Jazz. I'd look at taking the Jazz and going under. I would look at, real quickly. I'm just saying what I see in these accounts real quick that I think is legit. I would look at Pelicans. I would look at the Pelicans plus the 9. It's too late to take the Clippers.
Yep.
Yeah, that's about it, man. That's about it. Maybe the Lakers. The Lakers, I'd take the 4.5 late on the Lakers. That's about it. You notice I didn't mention any totals there much because the totals are what are being middle. So, yeah, I would look there. I would look there. Stop bothering me. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, see, NBA, proceed with caution here. Plus, a lot of these teams haven't played in like a week. So it's so strange, this whole NBA Cup thing.
Wait till after the new year. Wait till college basketball is gone. Wait till NFL's in the playoffs. And then you'll see, because then the recreational bettors are betting NBA day in, day out. And then you'll see the playing field changes a little bit. Right now, it's a crazy playing field. Not a playing field I really want to be playing a lot on.
No, I agree with you there. Good stuff there, Gianni. Locked, loaded, ready to roll. What are folks getting over at your page today?
I got a bet for tonight's Thursday night game. That's been up for a couple of days. I have a 5% already for the college football playoffs on Saturday. I've hit my last 6 I believe college football bets. I'm 8-1, 9-1 in NFL 4%. So I'm getting really hot right now. It's a good time. Like I said, I'm coming off a really big night in college basketball. Going to have the steam room on Sunday, which here's the key with the steam room. That's why I love doing it on Sunday. I hand out player props, team totals, and late bets that we just can't use for subscribers because they're so time sensitive. It's like free money every week for those guys that come into that steam room because of those bonus bets. So you want to jump in there for Sunday. Again, go over to WagerTalk.com. I got a lot going on. And 1/125, you will see the new low volume type parameters. I'm really excited for what's coming up, brother.
I love it. Gianni, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for dropping the knowledge here. Weekdays, guys, on Wager Talk Today. Gianni will always close it out with his Steam report. Great stuff, Bill Sandoval. Also, Big Daddy Roger Long in the house. Always a pleasure to see you guys. And we've got Titan CTs in there. We got the usual crew here today. And we have cash tickets so far today on the lack of Dave Sharapan. The consig doesn't show. Dan, I think we nail it there. Some of the Prez comments on the Bear were really good. Really fantastic stuff. You guys just keep rolling along, and we appreciate it. Now, rumor has it, the Prez will be back tomorrow. Okay, might be some bandages, but you never go toe-to-toe with a Grizzly when in the mountains. But that's exactly what Prez did. In the meantime, he does have a 5% NHL play that he sent over to us that he wanted you guys to know about, available at his page. But a quick reminder, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Do not, and I mean do not be shy here, guys. We got Wager Talk Today, Monday through Friday here on Wager Talk TV, whether it be Instagram, whether it be TikTok, YouTube Shorts, our YouTube page, X, Facebook. We're everywhere, and we got much more coming your way here today, guys. Coming up, we're going to be all college football here in about 25 minutes here, the college football kickoff show, breaking down the upcoming college football playoff games. Ralph Michaels will be there. Drew Martin will be there. I believe Rob Vino will be there. Get those perspectives on those games coming up, followed by college hoops. We'll talk with Adam Trigger today. College basketball tip-off show, and, of course, the NBA tip-off show, 3:30 Eastern time, guys. We have got you covered across the board. So hit that like button, subscribe button, and get ready. We may not be making 40 bets, Dan, tonight, but we are certainly looking forward to making a few here and cashing some tickets. So Titan CT and guys, best of luck, man. We appreciate you all. We'll be back again tomorrow for Wager Talk Today, but get ready. College football kickoff show coming up in about 15 minutes. Live stream ready to roll, guys. Good luck. We'll see you again tomorrow.